What's up, and welcome to the second episode of the Essence with AY podcast show with me, your host, Hajia AY. On today's EP, I'm going to be extensively talking about an insight article I cited and read yesterday, published by the AR Initiative, a sustainability consultancy firm on the African continent, founded by two strong and amazing African women that support startups in Africa. The title of the insight article is Board Gender Diversity. I know some may ask, why board gender diversity, or what really does board gender diversity means? But what for sure is going to stand out for the listener of this podcast is the gender aspect in this title. Board gender diversity is simply the percentage of female directors on a company's board. That's what it means. There's really no sophisticated meaning to what board gender diversity is. So I'd like to begin with the stats from this insight article, right? I want to go with the first one that's talking about Ghana, right? So it says in Ghana, during 2015, there were about 18% of women occupying board seats. However, that has increased a little bit to 2021, where there were about 30% of women occupying board seats. So I guess there's been a bit of an improvement there, right? But we still have a long way to go. In the whole world, could you believe that there is only 25% of board seats that are occupied by women as of 2022? Yes, 25, and men are leading with 75%. There is an American startup accelerator, right, that invests in small startups, and that is Y Combinator. Into another stat in this article, it says that this startup accelerator has invested in 98 African startups in the past 18 years. Out of the 98 startups that have been invested in, only 15 of them have women as co-founders, and just 5 out of the 98 have women as CEOs. I think it's really sad. I think right now, like you know, or maybe you don't know, there are about 4 African countries that are really leading in the African sustainability ecosystem, and that has to do with Nigeria, that has to do with Kenya, that has to do with South Africa, definitely it has to do with Egypt. So these are the 4 African countries that are kind of like leading in the African ecosystem, sustainability ecosystem. And now a lot of youth are encouraged to start a startup, because you know where African is leading to when it comes to the aspect of sustainability, when it comes to the aspect of climate change. That to me really, that out of startups in Africa that are doing amazing, just few of them founded by women or co-founded by women get support they need. As a startup, definitely you need support in order to get your innovation far, whatever you think would be effective for whatever action you want to undertake. And like I said, it's sad that the majority of the startups that are being invested in are male, not female. The main topic, board gender diversity. How many of the board members we know at our workplaces, how many of them are female really? The most we have for females is about 3-4. So let's say, with boards of companies or board of organizations, there are not really a lot of people, but there are specific, highly educated and resourceful people that are chosen as board or elected as board members of an organization or a company. So let's say out of 10, right, there's just about 3, at most 4. I really haven't seen a board of directory that have like 5 male, 5 female, and I really think that if we really want to kick the butt of patriarchy in Africa as a whole, we need to start looking at really having equal number of gender on the board, because really I know there are females out there who are strong enough, who are innovative enough, who really be hardworking, that at the end of the day they can be able to bring to the company the expected of them, or what is expected of a male, right? Let's go to Morocco, right? Okay. Aspect of Morocco, it says that there are 21% of women occupying board seats. So when it comes to board gender diversity in Morocco, there are only 21% of women. There are only 21% of women. What happened to the rest of the women that are not in there? So argue that, well, maybe they are not really educated enough to get to that level. But I would like to shock you on this stat. You know that in Morocco, 60% of females have graduated from management studies, and 50% of females have graduated in science and technology in recognized university. So put together the 50% and put together the 60%, that's even over 100. So there are factors, right? And with the social factors, the economic factors, the political factors. I know that not being economically stable or what may kind of lead to you not being able to complete the desired amount of years of schooling you have to. However, in the case of Morocco, a lot of females have been educated. So what really happens is that over 100% of females are so much educated that only 21% of them are in board seats. So it just goes beyond education, because right now I know that a lot of organizations or there are a lot of people that are really pushing issue of girl-child education. Like right now, people are really stepping on their feet and they're really pushing these particular topics. So education really won't be the major factor. But I think what two major factors are the social and the political factors. Social, because it's a patriarchy thingy that still goes on in Africa. You know, it's been happening since our great-grandfathers, and it's still happening currently. So imagine you grow from a community, right? You know, the dad is the head of the house, and when you go to school, the headmaster is head of the school, the less headmistresses, and then when you go to university, communications, the PR and all are male. And then when you come to the workplace, but employers are really female, very little. So it's really not about education. Education plays a factor, but I think the social aspect plays a bigger factor, because that's how we grew up with. The article also stated emphatically that people are more likely to vote for a male. One time that females are being voted for is when a company is financially stable, but when there are hiccups and when there are troubles and when there are problems, to think that men can better handle it than women. So I had my shared experience with this, and I'd like to share a little bit. So in high school, I wanted to stand as protocol prefect of my school, and then I had a lot of people really discouraging me that you can't win this position, is for male, and you know, girls don't win this position. And ever since the school came into existence, women or girls have never ever won this position. A lot of people advised me, you know what, Hajara, get off this position, go for another position that you can easily get, like go for the compound prefect or the library prefect or whatever it is that you can easily get. But protocol is not meant for women. Women stand for that position, but none of them win. That's what I had from like strong females that I thought I was really looking up to in school. Where really my friends came to me like, you know, girl, don't go for this position. You have the potential to do other stuff. Just get down, because you're competing with a guy, and this guy is a strong guy. He's in a science class. He's this, he's that. A lot of girls know him, and I happen to be studying home economics. So how on earth am I supposed to win this position? You know. And there's just a lot of factors. One, because I'm a female. That's the most outstanding one. The second, because I'm doing home economics. One of the courses that has been really undermined in Ghana. And the other is because I'm sort of like a Muslim, although the school really does not discriminate against Muslim students. No, they don't. But it's just a general thing, right? And you just have a lot of Christians than Muslims. So at the end of the day, who really do you think is going to be voted for? But I'm like, you know, this is what I want to go for. I think that's where my power thing started from, because I knew I wanted to do this. I watched since I was in Form 1. I watched the protocol prefect. I watched him lead the whole school. I watched him come in front of over 200 students to give announcement or to call up for people and to do a lot of stuff. And I'm like, this thing, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to learn so much from this. And these people really couldn't get me to back down. So we went for the election, and well, guess who won? I won that election. I became the first female protocol of my high school. So it's not just about education. In this sense, I had the education, right, and I believed in myself. But there's a place I really didn't believe I could, because I'm a female. So I think it goes way more than education. If a woman is more educated, it's up to her community to support her and to trust in her that even though she's a female and people might think she may not have the capability to do what she has to do, we need to support her because we believe in her. We believe she can. We believe she has the power to be able to do this thing or to do that thing or to do whatever she thinks she could do. So we're all shared stereotype, and I've had my share problems when it comes to diversity at the workplace, gender diversity at school, gender diversity at home, almost everywhere, right? So what I'm trying to say is that try to be a supportive community to a fellow woman who is doing her very best to be educated, to stand strong, to stand head held up high. The other factors is political. Now you come to the elements of Ghana and there are just very little females coming. African countries have female as president. So you can really imagine when it comes to the political aspect as well. So like I'm saying, what really stands out for me as a factor to this broad gender diversity thingy and to a lot of gender inequality issues that are happening in our communities and in our society and on the African continent as a whole is the social and political factors. These two, and I think that once we put together regulations that would support women and that will push women in the aspect of social and political, then I think we're going to make a little bit of right. Also give out what they think should be, that is diversity should be related to like programs that will build women's leadership and capacity, and also there should be more platform for women, like more opportunities for women to be able to go into. And I think there are just more opportunities, but it's just the people behind those opportunities that are not opening up to women. When to build women's leadership and capacity, I think a lot of companies and organizations are doing that currently. And at parity, like if there are 50% of boys, there should be 50% of girls. Like when they're playing, it shouldn't be like there are 70 and there are 30 women. It grows from there, and then boys will start to think that it's okay for us to be more than the girls, right? So I think it's really important that every single person plays a role in gender parity, and every single person plays a role in both gender diversity. Like you and I start from the very onset, or from the community or the society you find yourself in. Sure, we're going to change these sad stats of African women leading board seats. Thank you so much. I hope this conversation has been an interesting one for you, and I really hope you learned something from this epi. Please don't forget to share the links to your friends and family to listen to the podcast, and definitely share with me your feedback and your thoughts on this topic and generally on the podcast as a whole. Thank you. My name is Hajia AY, and this is the Essence with AY podcast show, coming to you live from my studio. Have a good day and stay safe. Remember, both gender diversity is important, and remember you can play a role in both gender diversity and in gender equality in all aspects and in all fields. So on that note, peace out and have a lovely day and a week.